Here we're doing Advent of Code 2020 Day 5 Part 1. We are finding seats in an airplane that are written like this. There are 128 rows, and then there are 0 to 7, so 8 columns, I guess. And F means take the lower half, I guess the front half of the rows. B means take the back half of the rows. And then left means take left means take the lower half of the columns, and R means take the upper half of the columns. So to find the seat, you've got to go half, 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 and then you end up with a seat. So I'm thinking it's like a parsing thing. I'm going to start with some tests. Oh wait, where to get the seat? The seat ID is the rows times the column plus 5. How do you get the seat ID? The row by 8, then add the column. Okay, that's easy to do, right? So let's do some. Let's start with a test before we do the. I did day 5. Okay, CD day. It's day 5, right? Yep. Okay. And get rid of the old code. File exit. Code dot. Open main. So I'm thinking we'll start with test. Mod tests. And test 1 we'll call it because I don't know what else to do. Okay, and this will be okay. Let input equals that. And I guess we're gonna let me just comment these out. We need some kind of struct to do the actual parsing, so we'll put the struct way at the top. Struct seat, why not? Row U16. I should put whatever. Just put U size, doesn't matter. And col. Is it going to be also, yeah, it's going to be U8. Okay, whatever, do U16. I don't know why I'm doing it like that, but that's what it is. That's the maximum number it needs to hold. I don't know what's going to happen with alignment. I don't care. We are not in optimization mode. We're in make it work mode. So then we could just say implement seat and fn and you pass it a what do you call string, and it gives you a seat. I'll just make it delete whatever row 0 for now, and then col 0. So the test will go let seat equals seat new input, and we'll be using superstar. Let's use super seat. Set eq seat dot row 70. Doing test first development. I'm such a good programmer. Give me money. ID, which I didn't, it doesn't exist yet. 567. I might as well just go look, make ID a property because it doesn't even need to fn ID. U size, why not? It is going to be self.row times 8 plus self.col. That's the correct formula, right? Multiply row by 8 and then add the column. Okay, that's great. So it's just going to be ID as a function 567, and then we'll do these tests later on. Oops, I just okay. I guess we could just copy. Okay, we'll go into Vim mode and do it in Vim, and copy test 1. test2. That's that, and it's going to be 14, 7, and 199, 119. Test3. 1024 and 820. So right now, all the tests doesn't even compile. So that's let's get it compiling. Self.call c.id. Maybe it needs to be pub. The actual. That'll make more sense. And what's the problem here? You can't convert a U16 to a U size. Yeah, you can. Just do it. Okay, fine. Everything's a U size. Happy? Next problem. Column on type seat. Call. The track is never used. Okay. So that also has to be call. Column. No more of those. Okay. Test. Everything failed because 0 is not equal to everything else. So now we're going to do the parsing. So when you create new, we're going to go let mute row equals. I guess we're going to go high row, low row. High row 127. Should we use a range? You can use a range because then we can. I mean, it's basically a range is what we need. Just that's a range. Start end. Yeah, so we're looking. Okay, so we just have a row. Let mute row equals 0, 1, 2, 8. Let mute call equals 0 to 8, 0 to 7 because it's 1 less than what the end is. And then we go id dot not parse is cars dot for each c match car. It's gonna be either front, back, left, right. Now we should, anything else should really throw an error, but we're just gonna go panic. Got unexpected car. And then we just print the car, other. It's just gonna crash the whole program for now. Next, if it is front, then we go row dot. Go to the front half. Row dot end equals. Can you just change the end like that? I guess you can, right? It's going to become half of 128 equals row dot end minus row dot start minus divided by 2. That seems to do. And then this case, row dot, what's it called? Not end, is it beginning? Start, okay. Row dot start equals row dot end minus row start over 2. The same in everything, and then it's the same thing. Col. So everything's the same except it's going to be col. Left, right, change row to col, and that's it. So, and then we just pass it row and col, and that's it. It'll become row dot assert that assert equal row dot start. So at this point, row dot start has to be the same as row dot end because they're both going to be 64, 63. It's going to become row dot start and row dot end minus 1 plus 1. Will it be plus 1? So if we want one number and say it's 4, it'll be row start 4, 5, yeah, that would be. And it'll be same here, row column, and then I guess we'll take the row dot start and the col dot start because it's the last number, the first number. Okay. And we've got to go row dot start, col dot start. Why is that an issue? Expect a semicolon there. Okay, fair enough. That's easy to fix. Cargo test. Tests failed. Okay, we're getting numbers other than 0, so that's great. Let's put some debug information in there. We'll just put we're just going to go debug row col and car C. Maybe should C because you got the beginning. Don't move it. Okay, fine. Borrow the character, borrow the row, borrow the car, borrow the col. So okay, let's just do standard test 1. Oh, it crashed. Subtract with overflow. Ugh, that's horrible. Plus 1. Maybe we should just use whatever. We should use those an inclusive range there. And then everything should just fall into place. And then this should be the same because the beginning and the end should be the same. And it's private field. Method exists. Okay, so end is going to be actually a method with exclusive range. And start, I assume, is the same. I can't see anything there. By the time we get to the end, the time we've passed seed number should be down. Single number. Do it here too. Cannot assign to this value. Okay, let's look up the range inclusive. I guess we don't need it. We could just use a tuple. Maybe one more than the end. Why not? Now all the ends and starts need to become 0. I'm just going to replace all the ends. Okay, wait, undo, because that should be 1 actually. So we're just going to say anything that's replace end with 0. Okay, give me proper vim. And end. Right, and then now end should be 1. Damn it. End should be 1 and start should be 0. Done. Okay, so we're making progress. Let's just run test 1, cargo test 1. So we're getting a B. We've got how it should work here. B means take the upper half, so rows 32. In this case it'll be rows 63 to 127. Okay. Then we're getting an F. That doesn't change yet, an F. So the row. Why did this become 32 now? That's not right. Okay, there's some bad math in there. So if we're taking the front half, we're moving the end down. If we're here, we're moving the end up. So it's got to become plus equals what a half is. Okay, that makes more sense. Still failing, but we're moving forward. So we're taking the back half, which is 63 to the end. Great. Then we're taking the front half, which is still 63.32. That can't be right. Let's do the math. So we're taking the front half, which means we're reducing the end down to whatever half is. So it's got to become row dot 0 plus row 1, the difference between them, divided by 2. And here it'll be the same, I guess. Call it 0 plus the difference between them. Here is row. We're moving the front up. So if it's already at 32, we want to move it whatever half the distance is again. Okay, so that should work now. Oh, it's got less. It's got more numbers now. So back half, we put up to 63. Front half, we've reduced 127 by 9. Let me just check the numbers. Each letter tells you which. Zero to 60, or back 64 to 67. So if I get a B, then those numbers should become 64 to 127. But I'm getting 63, so I need the plus 1. You know what? I'll just make this become 1 after the end. That should do it. So B, yep, that's working. And then F gives us 94, 64, 96. We're getting the front half. That's probably right. How close are we getting? We want 70, but we got 71 for the row. Doesn't give you an actual example, does it? I'll take this example here. I didn't even do that one yet. That's good. Don't call that test 0. Test 1. Test 0. And that's supposed to output row 44. And then column 5, and then 3, 5, 7. I'm gonna call this test 0. Whatever, call that test 1, and I'll call this test 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's run test 1 again, and now we can follow through our steps and their steps. So we're going F 064. Keeping row 0 to 63. Yeah, because we're going 1 after the end anyway, so that's fine. B means take the upper half, which is rows 32 to 63. I should, no, you know what, I'll put it back to 127. So we'll have it exactly the same as them. Row 1 plus 1. Run. Let's compare our steps. The test 1. We get an F 0 to 64. Should be 0 to 63. So we need to get rid of that plus 1 and that plus 1. We'll keep the other ones probably. I'm going to just need to use my brain. Okay, I've got an F. So we want, in this case, I mean with this already zeros, we row 0 plus, I mean there's nothing. 0 plus. We want to go to 63, so how do we get 63 from 127? Divided by 2 is a 63 and a half, so we need to round it down. Maybe. I think we have floor division in Rust, do we? Apparently not. Okay. Rust floor division. Integer division. It's already doing it. Let me go to Rust Playground. And just see what it says here. Debug. Okay. Let top equals 120. U size equals 127. Top divided by 2. What will Rust print out? 63. Expected. 63 says that's exactly what we want, right? Is that what we're doing? No, we're not. Okay. Run. 063, so the first step works. Exactly the same as this. F music, little half, keeping row 063 done. B music, the upper half, keeping 32 to 63. But we got 31. So our B is 1 too big. Maybe we need to put a +1 there. I'm just guessing. Row the beginning equals ha plus equals ha. It's currently 0. If we put it there, is that better? 063, 07, 32, 63. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. 32, 63. F maintains low half 32, 47. Looking good. 40, 47. No, it didn't work. Where it went. 40, 47 is there. Alright, that's a B. B 44 through 47. What a B, 44 through 47. F 44 through 45. Yes. The final F means keep 44. Done. That's perfect. Great. Okay, so now we just got left and right. I guess we just need to put that +1 in here. 1 plus, and that should work now. All the tests work. Yay! We have a seat parser. I wish I actually used my brain and had worked out the math rather than testing, debugging it, but that's what we got. We got to the same location. The ID of the seat. I mean, that's per the spec. Create a new seat, reading in a seat specification line. Okay, and now we're going to use our input. What's the actual thing we have to solve? Okay, we did all those checks. Sanity check, look through your list of boarding passes. What is the highest seat ID on the board? Let's get our input. cat2 input.text. That's interesting, doing test first programming. Standard fs read to string input.text. I'll just use .expect this time rather than read input.text. And then we're gonna go input dot lines dot map line to a, I don't even need that, just go seat new and then dot, we just want to get the ID, seat.id dot max, and that's it. Let highest, I guess go max. Done. I didn't even ID is a function. Thank you, squiggly red thing. Println part day 5 part 1 highest seat ID max seat ID. Save. Why doesn't it like that? Option use size doesn't implement format display. Okay. We'll just go expect no otherwise found, because if it happens that there is no max, then it means there's no data. Alright, cargo run, and highest seat ID 871. I guess we can get rid of that debug statement now. 871. Let's test it out. Yay. Stop recording.